welcome to the Revenge of Podcast, your weekly podcast for all things revenge of and more. My name is Jeff Iser, and joining me as always is Coral Breeden
What's up?
and Joe Myers.
Howdy, howdy.
We're live, baby. It's episode 49. We're live.
49?
I was thinking about this because it's season 2, episode 49. We really should have started a new season when we started going live, but I think at this rate we should just start a new season after the end of the year, maybe.
Okay.
I don't know. Maybe it's at episode 52, so it will have been a year, right?
Well, it'll have been longer than a year because we have a couple weeks we took off.
Yeah, but we'll just call it a year, and then we'll start a new season.
I didn't know we were doing seasons.
Well, we're season 2 now. Season 1, we were back at the old studio. It was like a whole thing. Remember? We used to sit at the little table.
Oh, the sweaty table.
Yeah, it was a sweaty little sweat box.
Mhm.
But here we are. We're live. What a weekend we had. What happened this weekend? Oh, the storm of the century came, washed
Wild.
right over us.
Mhm.
I don't even think I saw it rain once. I thought I saw like a little twinkle here and there, but that was about it. I
Yeah.
didn't see much else.
The mornings were pretty rainy.
Really?
Yeah.
But for the most part, it was pretty dry. So we didn't end up going to Fantasy Fest, which is fine. We're gonna go next year. All's good. It sounded like it worked out for the better anyway, because they were kind of trying to fit us in there, like in the space, and it was a tight little butthole of a space. But Shay went, said it was a good time. Your boy Elijah Wood was there DJing.
Oh yeah.
Spinning the ones on the ones and twos, as they say. But yeah, it looked like a good time. We dropped our playmat over at Andestroy, and we dropped the t-shirt. The playmat was like poof, 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 like
Yeah,
hotcakes.
it's great. It looks cool.
Yeah, people were really into it. So I'm down. I love that. I love that about that. I don't know what I'm saying. I'm keeping up with I gotta turn my shit on silent here, or on do not
What
disturb.
are you over looking at?
There's all kinds of stuff flying at me right
Uh-huh.
now because so we just dropped some policies over at Andestroy, and
Mhm.
just to be clear, up until now we didn't really have any policies other than tables are for customers only.
Mhm.
And because we didn't really know how to go about the whole thing, because it's this communal space with a bunch of seats that are kind of open to anyone, right? But as the months have gone on, we've been able to now see the trajectory of the evenings and how the space is used versus how people are interacting with us or patronizing us in as a customer, right?
Yeah.
So oftentimes we find ourselves in the evenings completely packed to the tits with people inside and out,
Mhm.
with no sales for hours, and it sucks. It's tough.
It's hard because we want to also make sure that we've got the staff on to
Yeah.
help support and take care of it. And if we can't support the staff, then
Yeah, and I mean that's
we can't
ultimately
get those hours.
that's ultimately what it comes down to, right? Is last week we have these big magic nights. I forget what day of the week it is, but the place gets completely full,
Mhm.
and the vibe is awesome. It's a good time.
Yeah.
But it's like last week, I think over the course of 2 hours, we had less than $50 in sales. So ultimately, that doesn't even cover the cost of labor for the two people that are there for those 2 hours, let alone tips for them.
Yeah,
which
not
they
to mention
rely
they're not
on.
getting tips.
But then also, the hour it takes for closing. So really ultimately we're in a situation where we're losing money in the evenings, but we're trying to figure out well, what can we do to curtail this and to make it an equitable situation for everybody. And it's something that it's not a new thing. This is something we've been talking about since before we opened, trying to figure out how best to manage this. And it really just came to a fever pitch in the last couple of weeks where we were we gotta do something. So the new rules, or the commandments as I call them, because I like a theme, I
Mhm.
like a theme, is we're just stating it out there throughout the day, 7 a.m. to 10 p.m. We ask you to make a purchase every 2 hours. So if you come in and you sit down with your laptop and you work all day, most people are very good about this. Some people will come in and they'll get a drink and they'll sit there for 10 hours. And
Mhm.
it's tough because it's well, they did get a drink, but they're taking up table space. And a lot of times people come in, there is no table for them.
That's
and
kind of
then they
our number
leave.
one complaint right now.
Is that there's no table space, or
Yeah.
or there's somebody taking up a whole table, or this or that. So the rule is buy something
Mhm.
every 2 hours. If it's a drink, a pastry, something,
Yeah.
while you're there. Then in the evenings from 5 p.m. to 10 p.m., we're doing a seating fee for people that are playing trading card games and board games. Same as what we do at Revenge of on Saturday for Casual Commander.
Yeah.
$5 and you can play. Now at And Destroy, we say it's $5, and then we ask you to buy at least one drink or pastry or something while you're there. So
Yeah.
you can stay there from 5 p.m. to 10 p.m. playing Magic. Just buy one drink and pay us $5 for the seat, and that's it. That's as I mean, and
The
I
most infuriating thing I've seen so far about the discourse about that policy is the threat that instead of tipping the baristas, they're just going to pay the $5 fee and
Yeah.
then not tip for that whole time.
That's so
Yeah.
mean.
Well, there's one person that I mean, if you look at the post, it's got like 500 likes right now, but there's a lot of back and forth. And I'm trying to answer every single comment just to like, just to clear things up if it's not clear. But like, I thought that the rules were very concise and very to the point.
Mhm.
Like, I'm explaining it to you exactly how it's written.
If I can get it, they should get it.
That's what I'm saying. But there's one person that it's a burner account. There's 0 followers following 0 people with 0 posts.
Okay.
And they're just going off, and like other people are like, get out of here, troll, like stuff like that. But yeah, they were like, well, I'm not gonna tip that. And it's like, well, why? Okay. Like the point is like at the end of the day, we are trying to create a space. Like it's not like we built this place to like get rich and retire. We built the space so we could like make something cool. We're trying to build something cool off of what we've already built here.
Yeah.
And in order to do that, we have to be able to sustain it in a way that that is beneficial to everyone.
Yeah.
So like I don't know, just like be cool. That's like the number one rule. Like how at Revenge of we have don't be weird,
Mhm.
and Destroy it's be cool. Just be cool, you know. But to not to punish people who do buy drinks while you're there.
Mhm.
We instituted a tier on the XP, which is our point system.
Yeah.
That 2 XP covers your seat fee, and 2 XP is like if you spend $10, you get 2 XP. So basically, we've kind of backed ourselves into a corner with that one because basically, if you spend your 2 XP and you get your free seat and you get 1 or 2 drinks while you're there that time, then you'll have enough XP for the next time.
Yeah.
So really, it's kind of a moot point, and we're just trying to get the point across that like, you can't just hang out for free. It's not a public library.
Well, and at the same time, when people do tip out the baristas get to like have a little bit of like stability.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the thing. I mean, the baristas are all paid very well for sure. But the extra tips on top of it is what really makes it like a livable wage
Yeah.
in Los Angeles for sure. And it's not that we don't have like it's not that we're not doing well throughout the day, which is why there's no fee for playing trading card games or board games during the day.
Mhm.
It's just in the evening because
Yeah.
we've got to figure out something.
It's literally in the time it is a targeted time that we found that we are open. The baristas are not being tipped and drinks aren't being made.
Yeah.
And so to keep the lights on, to keep the employees, to keep the hours and the availability to the community, there is just a little bit of a cost. And that's it.
Yeah.
That's all.
That's it. I mean, that's all. Like Joe said. So whatever. But I've been dealing with it for the last couple hours, and it's just like, I don't know. It's draining.
Well, you've been
Where-
on one, so
I have been
figured-
on one.
Where
That's
else
true.
can you go and sit for 5 hours and
I
play with your
mean,
fr- like,
I
hang out
don't
with your
know how
friends
other
for-
people do it because, like, for instance, like the Infinite Loop guys do their thing at the Thirsty Crow, but that's a bar, you
I
know.
mean-
And people are buying drinks the whole time.
And you're buying drinks the whole time, and I don't know.
I mean, it's when people were complaining about the pinball prices.
yeah,
The game's $1. Well, we don't have liquor or beer, and so the amount of money you spend when you go out to a bar covers a 50-cent game.
Yeah.
So,
Not only
Yeah.
that, but we have a full-time staff member who has to like, we have to pay to maintain those machines. So.
Yeah.
It's a whole thing that people just don't understand, and it's fine. I get it. They shouldn't have to understand everything, but we went through the same ordeal when we first started doing Magic when we expanded Revenge of,
Mhm.
because we charged a little bit more for draft, just because we're a smaller space and we consider ourselves a premium space, and that's just how we decided to do it. And like there was a ton of backlash from the Magic community about that, but we've been doing fine.
Yeah.
And it's fine. And it all worked out in the end. And, I think it's all justified. And it's, none of this is trying to like price gouge anyone by
No.
any means. It's just trying to make a way of sustaining and honestly trying to find a way to not get taken advantage of it in some regards. So I don't know. We'll see how it goes.
LA's expensive, y'all.
It's expensive, and we're just trying to make it work.
I don't like the not threatening to not tip at work.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm
that was
sorry.
a really bad place to go
If
to.
that's where you're at, you're a piece of shit.
Yeah,
I'm
we don't
I
need
don't
you to
care.
come in then.
Yeah, don't. If you're not gonna like tip people
Yeah.
that are like working for like no.
Yeah.
No.
I know. So anyway, I've been dealing with that for the majority of the day. So we'll see how it goes. We'll run it back next week, and we'll talk all about it.
Your big daddy's off.
My big daddy?
Yeah, behind you.
Which
Other
one?
side.
What big daddy?
Your big daddy.
Who's big daddy?
This?
Yeah.
What about it?
It's not. It is crooked compared to everything else.
Oh God! I thought one of the lights were off. You scared the shit out of me. All right, coming up this week. Tomorrow is the 14th.
1-4.
Forgot all about it. So tomorrow's the day that ends in 4. So bring your goddamn punch card. Get that shit.
Kinsey had no idea.
Really?
Yeah, I called her and she was like, "Yeah, we got so much to do tomorrow." I said it ends in 4, and she was like,
God damn it! I know, and not only that, but it's a Tuesday, so we are done at 7, so it's even worse. So anyway, it's a day that ends in 4. Come in, get your double points, and get shit punched, and it'll be great.
Mhm.
Are you gonna be here tomorrow?
Now it's Tuesday.
Well, you made it sound like you were gonna be here tomorrow. Whatever. And then coming up on Thursday, we got Women's Book Club. So if you're in Women's Book Club, come here for that. And then Friday, Saturday, Sunday is pre-release for Strixhaven. What are you laughing at?
Oh, the latest comment on Insta.
Oh, I'm not on Insta right now.
Oh.
I was looking at the thing.
A
God
cer-
damn it, Kenzie says. Anyway, so Strixhaven, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, pre-release. I think, are we sold out?
We are very close. If
We're
we are
very
not
close
already,
to
we
sold out.
maybe have a couple seats on Sunday.
But I think Jolene holds back a couple
Yeah.
for each seating, so there are room for walk-ups. But this is the first set that we got. I think we got 180 pre-release kits, and the most we've gotten until this is 115. So this one's going to be big, and the fact that it's almost already sold out is a good sign. But they done fucked us again, those Wizards Play Network, because not all the product is coming.
Great.
So we're getting all the play boosters, all the collector's boosters, but we're not getting the commander decks or I think the draft night boxes. I forget what else there is. But all that other shit's coming later, apparently. So cool. Thank you. But you know what? We got a ton of collector's boosters and a ton of other shit. And we're going to open a collector's booster box on maybe Friday or Thursday. We'll see.
What is the theme of Strixhaven?
I think it's an older theme, right?
Yeah.
Joe?
Strixhaven is like Harry Potter. There's like schools and it's like a magic academy and like the way the colors all work together is like a little different. They try and tweak it a little bit.
But it's not there's the two different types of magic sets. There's the like one that's like in-world I forgot what the terms are.
Universes Beyond. It's not a Universes Beyond.
Yeah, so far we like Avatar and Turtles and Spider-Man, those are all Universes Beyond. So this is the next one since Lorwyn that's like in
Oh.
Yeah. Oh, she likey.
Yeah.
Anyway, so that's coming up this weekend. And what else? That's about it. Let's talk about some gay news, shall we?
I got news for you. That means you're gay.
Baby.
Gay.
Yeah, you like that. I think the gayest thing, well, first off, we can't talk about gay news without talking about Ruby Rose. Did you see that?
Coral gave me a little preview.
Yeah. What the hell? What?
Apparently, Ruby Rose is saying that Katy Perry rubbed her pussy on her face.
That's
That's
one.
one. That's one. That's one.
It's the way you say it too.
I'm
Yeah,
just
it's not.
saying it.
It's like, yeah.
I'm so sorry
It's
to
okay.
have done that to you.
Just that one.
Anyway, she did that.
What allegedly?
Allegedly.
Like,
Yes.
I don't. That's
I got no whatever about it.
She's trying. I know Ruby. It's like, come on. Ruby
It's like
Rose.
bad. It's like absolutely bad behavior if it's what happened.
Yeah,
At the
that's
same time,
if
I'm
it-
like, I don't
if
know
it
what
happened,
the
that's
hell's going on with
fucked
it.
up. But
Yeah,
Yeah.
but also Ruby Rose is kind of like out there. I'm not gonna deny. I'm not gonna victim blame or whatever. I'm not saying that this did happen and she asked for it. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is Ruby Rose is a little cray cray, and she's been out of the news for a while. And it's interesting that she decided to drop this morsel a Twitter reply to someone's post or
Well,
something.
yeah, that's what was a little strange to me, where it's just like, yeah, if like this is something you're ready to share, it's the delivery of it right now, honey.
Yeah.
Like, whoa, okay, that was a bomb. That random person was like, whoa.
Yeah. Whoa. You're not
Okay.
going to elaborate on that?
Yeah.
Yeah. But whatever. We'll see how it pans out, I guess. But we all know that, none of us really like
Do you
Katy
think if
Perry.
it turns out that she's true, that Katy Perry will lose her astronaut license?
You can't
No.
ever take back someone's astronaut status.
Yeah, once
they've
you're
been
an
up and back.
astronaut, you're always an astronaut. So I did see a clip though of Katy Perry. I think this is what she was commenting on. I saw a clip of her where she's watching the Justin Bieber thing at Coachella. And,
Mhm.
how he pulled up YouTube and he was like singing along to YouTube's.
Yeah.
The camera, like somebody's filming and they pan to her and she goes, "Look, thank God he has premium."
I mean,
Something like that.
Yeah.
Which I thought was pretty funny.
that is pretty funny.
Yeah.
The whole thing was kind of weird. I've read so many theories about why it went down like that.
Yeah. I mean, from what I've seen, I didn't watch the set because I don't really care the
No, I
Bieber
don't
set.
either.
But from what I've seen, the production value was really high and it seemed pretty cool. But whatever. We watched a little bit. Here's some gay news. We watched a little bit of Sabrina Carpenter
Ooh.
at Coachella and had to turn that shit right off.
You're insane.
Well, what's insane is she cut to this. Susan Sarandon showed up playing an old Sabrina
Mhm.
in behind the wheel of a car, like at a drive-in, presumably. And there was like a skit that lasted for like 20 minutes.
It was like a monologue that
Yeah.
we
we
8
clicked
minutes
away.
is probably closer.
Well, we clicked away and clicked back, and every time we clicked back, it was still Susan Sarandon monologuing. It was crazy.
Gotta respect the artist, man. I
Yeah,
don't know.
sure.
so
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't know. She just looks like an ice skater to me. She's got this cape and this like sparkly bedazzled dress on.
Okay.
It's not for me.
Ice skaters?
Yeah, like Blades of Glory. I texted it. You know Blades of Glory?
I know Blades of Glory.
I'm just saying.
Yeah, it's a great movie.
Okay.
Okay.
And that's Sabrina Carpenter's whole vibe.
Heather, I'm mad at you. Heather was at Coachella.
Yeah.
And she said she like purposely avoided it. She's like,
Yeah.
I'm not gonna watch that. And I was like,
Well, she did go to 9 Inch Noise, which looked crazy.
yeah.
That one is supposed to have gone down as like one of the best sets in Coachella ever.
yeah.
Yeah. It's 9 Inch Nails and Boys Noise. They combined to do 9 Inch Noise.
Oh.
I don't know anything about it. I'm just saying.
God.
I know the basics.
Okay.
We clicked around on the Coachella thing a little bit,
Mhm.
but I don't know. It's fine. We watched we watched a lot of the Strokes. That was pretty cool.
Yeah.
They sounded good.
Would you go to Coachella?
No, not as like I wouldn't just go just to like go. I
Uh-huh.
would go if we were there in some sort of like professional capacity and I was able to sneak around and see things. I would love to see the spectacle of the whole thing because it is gigantic,
Yeah.
right?
You say that.
Well, yeah. I mean, look, we had a good enough time when we were young.
Yeah, but we
What,
yeah.
and Destroy can't go to Coachella? What's
Well,
this
we
cool-
tried. We tried.
You did?
They already
Um,
had a coffee deal.
Yeah, and they were going to put us in like the tent area with like where people are camping,
Okay.
which was going to be fine. We were
Yeah.
down, but then it didn't quite work out. So we're going to try next year. But we tried. We for sure tried. But we are going to be, I guess this is T, but we are going to be at Core LA, which is a EDM music festival coming up on May 2nd and
But-
3rd.
Oh.
But we'll only have coffee.
Yeah, we're going to have, yeah. We aren't
Oh.
selling Molly.
Oh, I was like, what?
We will have Baja Blast though.
Woo!
Yeah, so Squirrel's gonna be there. She's gonna be wearing the fake titties with a super soaker filled with matcha. And
Yeah.
she's gonna spray people with matcha.
That's actually a really good idea. We'll put like glow paint on my.
Yeah, see what I'm saying?
See you there, baby.
And with your matcha
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 Glock?
glocks.
Matcha Glocks. Oh my god.
I'm here for it.
Your glotches.
I have so many ideas now. It's like the girls
Yeah.
that make you take the shot, slap
Yeah.
you into the water.
What if we get those like fake breast milk titties that the dads wear to breastfeed their young, but we fill it with matcha and you breastfeed people matcha. I mean, it might be the best idea I've ever had.
That's so insane. Well, was that an EDM?
You could just wipe the titty off every time in between people.
What do I do while they do?
You just you just sanitize the titty. Plus, you got two of them.
It's
You
like-
can do two people at once.
No, you're making it's like
No.
the girl at the Ren Fair that pours the beer, but I'm pouring the beer.
Out of your titties. Yeah, with matcha. I think it's a hit. if you ask me.
I like the matcha clocks, but we'll talk about
All right,
it.
well, we're workshopping it
We'll
still. We'll
figure-
circle back on that one later. What other gay news you got? Oh,
What?
I got the gayest news of all, baby.
Shoot, what up?
We took this bitch to her first lesbian night.
Yeah, that was crazy.
That was your first lesbian night?
Yeah.
Like
Actually-
ever?
Yes.
It wasn't as dykey as I would have hoped. I
Yeah,
mean, what do you think, Joe?
You know what? It was pretty queer,
It was very queer.
which is totally fine.
yeah.
But I
Totally.
was when you have an event called Dykathon, I just kind of
Decathlon.
I think it was Dykathon.
No, it's Decathlon.
Either way, it could have been a little dykier.
Yeah,
is
so
all.
let me just set the stage for you for a
Okay.
minute. We went to High Tops in
Mhm.
Los Feliz, which I had never been to. We actually went to Gabe Luna's birthday party. It was in the bar that's like on top of it or behind it.
Oh.
Behind it.
So we went to that a couple years ago. Just missed Arnold Schwarzenegger, by the way. Bummer. But
Huge.
we went to that. But we had never been to High Tops. I've never been to the one in West Hollywood or the one over here, for that matter. But apparently the one in Los Feliz is
Hey, we don't have to worry about TikTok. We got shut down for hateful behavior, hate speech, and hateful behavior.
what the hell?
We said dyke,
Oh, really? You can't say that?
I guess.
But I got one right here.
I don't know.
You get the D pass.
Oh, thank you. Thank
You're
you.
welcome.
All right. We'll try to run it back. Maybe we'll come back on it.
That's hateful speech.
That's crazy. All right, fine. I won't say it.
That's what the
crazy.
event's called.
Yeah, it's a decathlon.
Doesn't matter.
All right, fine, whatever. Anyway, the bar is owned by lesbians, apparently, found that out. And every month, I think it's the first Saturday or the second Saturday of the month, they have a party called Personal Best. And it is a lesbian night. And we went, and it was like their 2-year anniversary party.
Mhm.
I love that there was no cover, by the way. I was totally prepared to pay a cover.
Yeah, I was kind of surprised by that.
Yeah, but it was definitely like a younger skewing audience, I would say. So it was definitely like queer for sure.
Yeah.
The vibe there was very like Abby. It was very.
It was a little too bright.
Yeah, it was like poppy. Like,
Yeah.
it felt West Hollywood. Not
You know what it
East
felt
LA.
like? It felt like what was it? Rage?
Yeah,
Was that what it was? Like the
Sure.
like the 18 and up bar.
yeah, or like Mickey's,
Yeah. Well,
like old Mickey's, pre burning down Mickey's. No, but that was like sucking each other off in the back room.
yeah, that's darkroom shit. there.
But I guess to put a period on this point, I did make a little video of the whole evening that Coral has not seen yet at all. So it's just a quick 90-second
Okay, great.
thing. But so anyway, well, I'll talk about it afterwards. But just since I'm gonna try to hit play at the same time so she can see it while you do it. I know it's hard, but the people at home will be able to see it and
Yeah.
we'll be able to hear it. So you
Okay.
ready?
Yeah.
1, 2, 3.
I didn't even cut my nails for this. No, I can't think about it for long nails. Can I take my shirt off?
Wanna go dumb? Yeah, I need that. We don't give up. Where my girls at? Wanna cop this? Louis V bag. Born to slay, I'm counting up. Talking to the boss, keep follow my lead. Yeah, I got the sauce, it's dripping off me. Forget the cost, your budget is cheap. But live it so lavishly, get it like me. Oh, gold. Shine my feel like it's from below. Never chase, only choose what we own. But you got me, but you don't.
I'm the biggest in the
You're looking at me from way back before. Well, it ain't like that no more. Hopping if I'm an old. Credit card, no limit, all of my girls win it, Sophie, you my baby, like lights, camera, action. Credit card, no limit,
the people see that.
They did.
Are we back?
Yeah.
Okay, so that was so that was the night out. So we went to Personal Best, which was
Yeah.
a hoot.
A hit.
It was a hoot. We ran into some people there that are friends of the shop.
Really cool.
Yeah, that were super cool, super nice.
I love
They
that
wanted
they-
to buy you a drink.
They wanted to buy y'all a drink. They didn't know who I was.
Oh, come on. We were at the lesbian bar with the lesbian of Revenge of. Of course they knew who you were. So that was fun. And then we hightailed it out of there and we went to the opposite end of the spectrum at the
Mhm.
Eagle, which was Meat Rack night, which is a monthly night.
Mhm.
A lot of dominoes there.
Yeah.
They had
Nothing
like
wrong with that.
like
that
we-
was it was a lot of dominoes
like
though.
there was like an open dominoes thing
Well,
at the front when
At
we
the
walked
front,
in.
it was stacked on top of like 3 other domino boxes.
Yeah, which I love dominoes. Don't get me wrong. But then we went inside to the back room where they had the merch, and there was an open box of dominoes on top of the
Yep.
merch, and one of the dancers like kind of like pushed his way through in a
while
jockstrap
we were buying merch.
while we were trying to buy merch to get to the pizza, which, you know, whatever. But we had to wait for the guy to stop making out with the other dude in order to get Coral this shirt, which is a pretty sick shirt.
It's
a sick shirt.
Awesome. Yeah.
yeah, yeah,
Did you wear that to the gym yet?
No, I think I'm gonna make it a little slutty.
yeah.
Yeah.
Like cut it up a little bit.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah, if you're gonna get shotties.
I mean,
Yeah, I
shawties.
mean, you ran into one shoddy at Personal Best that was like somebody you dated.
Well,
I had footage of it, but I didn't put it in there.
That's probably respectful.
that's yeah.
Thank you. You're welcome.
Good
You're
for
welcome.
you.
Thank
That's
you.
growth.
Yeah.
There's one.
Thank you. Yeah, it was a good enough time. I've definitely between when we went to Eagle a couple weeks ago and this, I am done for the year. I don't need to go out again. I get it.
What did
You
you,
know?
call when you walk around the bar?
Fruit
Fruit
Loop.
Loop.
Fruit Loop.
Yeah, you got to do Fruit Loop.
Yeah.
That was okay. That was pretty funny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I was trying to. Well, I was
That's old
trying to
school.
teach you how to be a gay, which apparently you've not learned.
No, I think. Okay, well, back to watching you bebop around there. Where you're like, yeah, we're cruising. Here we go.
I was trying to teach you.
God, I think I'm like a lesbian Scrooge.
Yeah, we know that.
That's
where-
what makes you a dyke.
Yeah. Oh, are we back on TikTok yet?
Oh no,
Not
we're
for
banned
long.
until after the 16th.
God damn it! Really?
Yeah, we can't go live until after the 16th.
That's annoying. I hope I get my money back from boosting it.
Good luck.
Wow.
That's hilarious.
I did appeal it, but I don't think that'll happen.
Oh, all right. Well, whatever. Yeah, we did a couple of Fruit Loops because you gotta scope it out to see where you want to stand, right? I was trying to
Yeah.
find you a shoddy, but whatever. And then towards the end in the video, when you're like, I gotta give her my money. Well, that wasn't the last time you gave her money because you had a 5 at the end.
Yeah.
And you were like, I want to go give her this 5. And I was like, all right, let's go. And then she had her back to you because she was entertaining another lady. And you were about to set the 5 on the stage and walk away. And I was like, no. That's not how you do this.
Specifically not with a 5.
Yeah. If you're going to give a stripper or a dancer a 5, this is a quid pro quo. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like you're trying to get something out of it. And usually that's just a little ass shake, a little titty shake. Sometimes they'll bury your face in something. You're looking to get one of those, you know? And $5, honestly, you could have gotten all of those things, but so we waited and I
Oh.
said, I snatched that 5 out of your hand and I said, hold on, let me show you how this
the
is
fact that
done."
you waited for her to turn around and goes to hand it to me.
I know. I waited for her to turn around and I showed her the 5 and then I handed it back to Coral and I said, okay, now. And then Coral gingerly placed it in her thong and then kind of was like, yeah. And then the lady tried to perform for you and then you kind of just like left.
because I bowed. Why
Coral,
did I
does your
bow?
sister still watch this?
Yes.
Yeah. So the whole,
I gave her the money. I said, thank you. And then she bowed back, and I was like, why did you bow?
yeah, the whole thing was shameful.
Yeah. If we would have started at the Eagle first and then went there, it was different. I just need at least one full drink to like,
I mean, I got you a double Jameson.
yeah. And it hit at the Eagle, and I was like, these dudes are cool, man.
Well, we got back and you were like, oh, I need to go to Verdugo Bar to pee. But you were really going there to hang out with Mickey and Julian.
they had a cigarette.
My God. We were like, why are you going there to pee? We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 bathrooms, 6, 7 bathrooms within a much shorter distance.
I could have used the upstairs.
I'm not saying you could
bathroom.
have. I'm just saying it is another bathroom.
And I think I had a snack while I was there. I don't know.
well,
I needed a
You
moment.
did say you ate something.
yeah, it was
Oh,
probably,
so much meat. The meat, yeah, the meat.
oh,
we
that I
made.
gave you.
Inhaled it. It was awesome.
Well, whatever. It was a learning experience for all of us. It wasn't my first lesbian night because we used to go to Here Lounge all the time
Yeah.
back in the day before it became the Chapel at the Abbey or whatever.
Here used to have lesbian nights. Apple
Here
next
was
to the
a lesbian
factory.
club. Yeah,
Here wasn't always lesbian.
but it was mostly.
It was.
Yeah, but and then we got to take her.
Wasn't there the Velvet Lounge? Wasn't that?
I don't remember.
I think it was Velvet Lounge at Here.
Yeah, but what were you saying when we were at Eagle? You were like, "Man, these gays really have it together."
They do. Like, I don't know. Because there's maybe, I don't know. Every time someone takes me to a lesbian night, it's not really lesbians. It is more like what, queer? And
Yeah.
it's, I don't know. But we go to the Eagle flooded with dudes.
Yeah.
So many dudes.
Yeah.
Not one. I was the only lady in there, and I was like, I need to find another so I can be like, oh.
I think that's presumptuous of you, though. You don't know. There could be other ladies in there.
We did. I
The
mean,
va-
we did the Fruit Loop. I didn't see it.
But maybe they were short and they were just in the crowd.
That's
somewhere.
true. That
There's-
happens.
There's
I'm
no
just
way.
saying. I'm just saying.
That's
But you know what we have to do is take this bitch to Tokyo and go to Goldfinger because that lesbian bar was popping off.
y'all took me to Tokyo.
They wouldn't even let us in. It was women only, but we could see in the windows.
We just stand outside with little like flags
in the window.
yeah.
Someone's saying that we need to take Coral to Honey's, which I don't know Honey's.
I looked that up. That was the two that I saw were like Ruby Fruit, which is closed, Honey's, and which I think is a night or it's a bar inside of something.
Honeys?
And yeah, and then there's Personal Best. That's what I found when I looked it all up. And Personal Best just happened to be last weekend. So there you go. But we got to get you some friends. You know what I mean?
Yeah, wow. Your bisexual life partner didn't even come out last
Yeah,
night.
that's
What
the
was up with
real-
that?
Who?
Well, she's the bisexual.
Yeah.
Are you talking? No.
No, I'm talking about, although you are wearing blue, white, and pink.
Yeah, again. Fuck. God damn.
Shut up.
God damn.
Well, actually, blue, white, and pink is trans, right? Blue, purple, and pink is bi.
I don't know. Who knows?
I don't know.
But anyway, it was all a hoot, and we done did it, and that's gay news.
Got news for you.
I got us out of there quick because we got a lot of ground to cover, and I feel a pee-pee coming on. So
Perf, because I got to finish orders.
yeah. Okay. Let's dive into reality TV trauma dump, shall we?
I need y'all to understand the pecking order.
The pecking order. We are.
Have you seen the clip that's from yet?
Mm.
Oh,
Not
it
yet.
is.
We'll
it
show
is
you.
so good.
I'll
Yeah,
show
we'll
you.
show you.
We'll get
later.
into that. But we're getting some traction with our with our reality TV dumps, which it makes for fun little clickbait on TikTok, which is why we're doing it anyway. But there's two things I wanted to address in this trauma dump. One, I wanted to go back to Bad Girls Club for a minute, just because it's a thing, which you've seen. The people want the tea so bad. So I wanted to go back to that and just quickly do a two-parter. So this is like a segment within a segment. We'll call it Bad Girls Club within the trauma dump. But I want to just go quickly over like every season we worked on and do a quick little story. But we're only going to do this like half of them today.
We have to be careful.
Yeah, these are going to be personal stories.
Okay.
What?
Okay.
Careful.
What do you got to be careful about?
I gotta be careful.
Yeah. Okay. I don't know what that means.
Yeah.
Okay. So season 1, Bad Girls Club, very first season.
Mhm.
I've already said this before. This is the very first show I ever worked on. It was 2006, early 2006. Had no idea what I was doing. Right. I came on as a production assistant. That was back in the day where you got $100 a day for the day, and you worked up to 25 hours or more. No overtime. But that was the first show I worked on. I got thrown into being the shopper at one point because the shopper had left or the set decorator had left. So I started doing that with my Thomas guide, which was the old paper map.
You missed it. There was someone in the store on Sunday with Thomas Guide, like one of the big ones.
Yeah,
I have no idea why. I must have bought it up at the
that's crazy.
It was wild.
Have you
to
heard
see it.
about Thomas Guides?
No, who
It's
is
it's a big map of Los Angeles, and it's how we used to get around before smartphones.
map?
Yeah,
Paper map?
like when I first moved here, like GPS in cars wasn't even really a thing.
Mhm.
It was hard. It was a book, and it would have each neighborhood in it. And
You
like,
know, it's what Poppy uses to mark where all of his like stashes of moonshine are.
yeah, his moonshine drops.
Oh,
Yeah.
look at that.
But I got thrown into shopping, which was like a whole fucking thing because I had just moved to Los Angeles. It was very difficult. But then on top of that, during the course of season 1, loading the house in, they fired the painter for like boozing.
Mm-hmm.
And they made me the painter. So towards the end of the show, I was painting all the walls and like doing all kinds of crazy shit, and it was a nightmare. And at the very end of it, I was the last person in the art department there. They were making me do all kinds of crazy shit. My very first job. Okay, season 1. There you go.
Okay.
Season 2, none of us worked on.
Nope.
That was when Tanisha came in with the pots and pans. Y'all
Oh,
gonna get no
yeah.
sleep because of me.
Mhm.
I'm gonna sleep for you. None of us worked on that, but it happened and
Yeah.
it made it what it is. Season 3 comes around.
Mhm.
Season 3, Bad Girls Club. These are all in Los Angeles at this point. Season 3 was for me was the first time set decorating for a set. It was back then we used to get trade outs. Do you know what a trade out is?
Mm-mm.
It's not much of a thing nowadays unless you're some big time TV show. But back in the day, companies used to give you free stuff to just put it on the show. You know, so we would be like, we would get free furniture and bed sheets and like basically anything you wanted. You could reach out to a company and say, "Hey, I'm decorating the house, the set or the house or whatever for this big reality show. Can I have XYZ?" And they'll just give it to you. So a lot of my job on that show was coordinating all that because we got free carpet tile and we got free furniture and we got free whatever. And towards the end, eventually they would not. No companies would work with us because
Okay.
the show was
Specifically Bad Girls.
because the
like,
show was about beating each other up and getting
Yeah.
drunk and shit like that. But
Yeah.
but the very last, the only trade out that stuck it out through up until like season 8 or 9, I think, was a company called Screaming O, and it was like dildos.
Well, Hustler did, right?
No,
No?
We used to we bought all of our stripper poles from the Hustler store in Hollywood,
Mhm.
RIP. But it was never a trade out really, but
I thought we got a
they
trade out.
had Screaming O products there, and I think they gave us it. So it was
Hmm.
like lube, cock rings that vibrated, and dildos. That's all.
Yeah, no
Cool.
massagers or anything, which is interesting for a show called
None
Bad
of
Girls
that
Club.
stuff. None of that stuff. And it was also the season, season 3 was also the season that we introduced, it was a big deal to give them props in the confessional. So like, you know how a confessional is where it's like, in reality TV, they have interviews and they have confessionals, right?
Mhm.
So interviews are when they're talking to the camera, but there's a producer that's like asking them questions. Confessionals, which were something that we did in Bad Girls Club and Real World, was like a self-operated interview. So they would go into a room, there would be a camera, and back then we used to have tapes, and you would have a tape with like the person's name on it.
Mhm.
They would put the tape in the deck, hit record, and then say whatever they wanted to say with nobody
Wild.
watching.
We should
Yeah.
get one of those here.
Eventually down the line, it was still self-operated to the extent that there wasn't a camera operator or a producer, but it was like a RoboCam, and they would hit record in the control room and whatever.
Yeah.
But it was a big deal to like give them things to play with in the confessional. And this particular season was like Barbie dolls. They were like, "Get us all these Barbie dolls," and blah 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 blah. And it was like, so then they could be like, "This bitch, I hate her," and meh, 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 and like do stupid shit. And it was like they wanted wigs and all this other crazy crap. But I feel like that was the season they started to implement that. And to
That
make
was the
us-
season that it started to pop off. That was the season you started to see girls who had watched the series
Yeah.
start showing up and being on the show.
and trying to be bad.
Yeah.
Bad.
Season 4.
Season 3, if I can throw it out there, we were still able to get into most of the bars in Los Angeles.
You didn't work on season 3.
Isn't season 3 the one I worked on?
No. So season 4 rolls around, right? A different designer, but my friend Steve, that I still work with to this day, he was designing the house. He needed some help decorating it. So he called me in the last minute and was basically like, I have all this furniture and all this pillows and all this shit from trade outs. What do I do with all of it? Please help. Right. So I came in for like 2 weeks. That's when I met Joe
Mhm.
because he was an intern at Buena Murray. So at one point,
So that means I don't get paid at all to
At
work
all to
25
work.
hours a day.
yeah, so I remember being in the kitchen specifically, and I was like, we were putting like stickers on the cabinet doors or some stupid shit like that.
Mhm.
And somebody rolls in and was like, I have all these interns. Can you put them to work? And I was like, yes, you can all do this stuff. And that's where I met Joe. Season 4 specifically, I remember there was a beauty room situation where the beauty room became this big thing in later seasons where it was like the room where all the girls would go to get ready to go out.
Mhm.
And so it would always have to be like a big table or something that they gathered around, and like a lot of the drama would happen in there.
Because you'd get all the girls in there at the same time, and generally they were already drunk.
Yeah. So this season, the beauty room was like the size of this room, but they really wanted a chandelier made of hair. So they contracted me, or I was already there, but I basically had me build this hair chandelier for like 4 days straight, where I was just taking like pieces of weave and like hot gluing, and I made this beautiful, in my mind, beautiful hair.
Was this the
chandelier.
season with the hot tub also?
Yeah, this was a season we put a hot tub in the middle of the house that had a TV monitor.
Awful.
We had a trade out for this thing called fuck, what was it called? Rub My Ducky. It was another sex thing.
Okay.
And they gave us basically it was this giant duck, like rubber ducky,
Uh-huh.
that would vibrate, and it had dildo attachments in it. So, and it was like the size of this coffee table. It was huge.
What?
Yeah, and it never worked, but it was another thing that they gave us for free that was just like in the middle of the foyer when you walked in, because these girls are bad. They got to sit on this vibrating duck.
That's
It was really dumb.
insane.
I also remember there was this thing, there used to be this thing in the early seasons that was like the Bad Girls Creed, where it was like the commandments, if you will, of like a bad girl is this and a bad girl is that. And in this season, it was all listed on the wall. And then Steve, for whatever reason, had this like chocolate bust made. It was like a bust made of white chocolate, and it cost like $3,000 or something.
Oh,
But it was
those
like
were the days.
that big, and it was just there. And then they just broke it on like day 2 or whatever. But that was season 4. Season 4 was also the season where they rolled the house from that right into the first season of Love Games, which I also worked on. I think I did the house for that. Whatever. That's neither here nor there. Then the next season I worked on after this one was season 7, which we talked a lot about season 7 already. That was New Orleans. That was the first time. No, sorry, the second time that the show traveled, because they
Yeah, 'cause I
traveled
did the
to
first one.
Miami,
Yeah.
which I didn't do, which was
I did
season
that.
5, I think.
That was also Steve and Alexis.
It
again.
was no, it was
Nick.
Chuck and Alexis.
That's right. I met Nick on that.
Yeah, so I don't have any tea about that one because I didn't do it. But season 7,
That was the one that I drove one of the girls back from the club, and she
Yeah.
puked in her weave and was crying about it in the whole car ride back.
yeah. I would cry too if I puked in my weave.
Oh man, it was
Are these
Right?
girls okay?
No,
no.
no.
Okay. Has anyone
No.
checked in on them?
Season 7, this was my first time designing the show, and I decided I wanted to like flip the whole thing upside down, and I went like way different than what it usually was. It was like darker and sexier because it was New Orleans, right? We were in this house that was super shitty because we got kicked out of the original house the day we were rolling up to it. We talked about the purple columns and the brick and all this other shit, and it's whatever. The one thing I do remember is the voodoo dolls. So they wanted voodoo dolls made of all the girls, so that they could play with them in the confessional, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And it was like this dumb thing, but Kuntz was visiting me out there, and we went on one of the like spooky tours, which was actually a really good time. And the way it works is you on some of these tours is you meet up at a bar and you get like a drink with your ticket, and then it's like a walking tour through the city, and they show you all the haunted places or whatever. It was a fun tour, but at the bar that we met at, there were all these voodoo dolls in the back, and I was like, "Who did these voodoo dolls?" And I got the info from the person, and I had her make all these custom dolls, including ones of me and Alexis that she still has that had all my tattoos drawn on there and stuff. And we also had her make a life size one for funsies
Of who?
of just a random voodoo doll that was in the show that one of the characters turned it into like her whole shtick. of like talking to the voodoo doll and like other dumb stuff. But it made good television.
Oh,
Whatever. Season 8 was Las Vegas. I didn't design that one. I art directed it. Las Vegas was, oh, I know what happened here. This was the last time that we used an actual artist's artwork in the show because up to this point, for the real world and for Bad Girls Club, we used to find artists and we would say, hey, do you want to loan us your art and we'll hang it up in the house for you and you for free? And you'll get exposure and whatever. And you just have to sign this waiver, tell us how much it costs in case it gets damaged. We'll give you an insurance thing, this and that, blah, blah, blah. We used to do this all the time. And we would get pieces. Like I would go to galleries and be like, I want this piece to put in the house. And we would get it and it would be glorious. And it was always great. But season 8 in Las Vegas, we did this at a bunch of different galleries. We got all these pieces of art of these like, it was like white with this black stroke of like a sexy lady on them. I got a bunch of them, really big ones. One of the girls threw bleach on them during a fight, and they all got destroyed. And it costs so much money to replace them. A lot of those ended up in Heather's apartment. She owns them now. Yeah. But that was the last time. After that, we were like, all right, we'll just make the art ourselves.
yeah.
So we started making and printing all the art ourselves to curtail that. The two more seasons we're going to talk about, and then that's half the seasons, right? Season 9 was Cabo. I have nothing to say about Cabo other than the fact that it was so fun to load in because we were like on the beach, the ocean. It was like perfect weather. All the food was delicious. Joe was there. We had a great time. Everyone, I don't know. It was great.
I worked nights on that one.
Yeah.
Again, I kind of came up working a lot of night shifts because that was what you did.
Yeah. But it was very difficult because the language barrier was harder to deal with than I had thought going in. So it was a lot of like,
well, you also had a really, really tried and true way of hiring people who know what they're doing.
yeah, no, I know. I had a translator that was like not great. She's like an art director now, but
Yeah, we love her.
But at the time it was a little difficult. And yeah, and like pesos is like fake money. Everything is like thousands and thousands of pesos. So you're like counting your petty cash and it's like 2,153,000 pesos.
That's going to stress me out.
It was hard.
Yeah.
So, but we had
Also because we had to like set for the production a conversion. So like when going through all the paperwork, we had like a company set conversion rate that we had to use. And so we'd have to do all the math back and forth. It was crazy.
Yeah, it was not easy. But all that said and done, Cabo was a great time. We had a good time. That's all I'll say about that one. Season 10 was Atlanta. Atlanta. It was my first time in Atlanta. I had a terrible time. We've since worked in Atlanta dozens of times.
I didn't do 10.
You didn't do 10.
No.
It was myself and Barkley, and Kevin was still traveling with us at the time. We went to Atlanta. We had this gigantic mansion out there. We only used like half the mansion. The rest of it was like boarded up or offices or whatever. The house was super creepy. I remember that. There was this one night that Alexis and I were there with like way late into the night because we were working, and we decided to like get some wine and drink it. And we went like our office was in the like third or fourth floor, like in the pitched roof portion.
Okay.
And we heard tools turn on in the basement, like a shop vac at one point and like a saw. And we went down there because we wanted to get wine. We didn't have an opener, so I was going to put a screw in the wine and like wrench it open. We went down there. Everything's locked. Everything was turned off. No one was there. It was very scary. Very scary. So that was creepy. The other thing that happened is the phone room. We decided to build this like peach grove phone room. So basically we had this huge dining room. We covered the entire floor with AstroTurf and we brought in all these big trees, right? We decided to bring in live trees and it surrounded this like big gazebo we built inside the house. And the gazebo was like where the phone was. And we put all these live plants in there and they ended up getting like infested with bugs. So
Ew.
during the shoot, there was like bugs everywhere and it was a total disaster. Lesson learned. The last thing I'll say about Atlanta is the other thing that became like a mandate in the show was they would put pictures of the girls up in the house. Like, these are the girls in the house. Here are the pictures, the cast photos, right?
Mhm.
At one point in the early season, someone fucked up the pictures of another girl, right? Or like sharpied on it or something.
Yeah.
And that became good television. So moving forward, they needed a way for the cast to fuck with other people's pictures. So it always had to be interactive.
Mhm.
And it was like, by the end, it was so hard to figure out like how to do this. But this particular one, we made these gigantic paper dolls of each girl. You know what a paper doll is?
The paper of a girl.
It's like a doll where you would cut out the clothes and then you would wrap the clothes on the doll, you know?
Okay.
So anyway, we made life-size ones that were magnetic. And then we had all
Oh.
these different doll clothes that you could put on them that would magnet to their bodies.
Can you make me one of those?
Sure, yeah.
Cool.
It's
Oh.
probably a lot easier now than it was
Yeah.
then, because back then it was very hard.
Yeah.
But we had cool things like we did like giant hot dogs and cheeseburgers that you could put over their heads, like little speech bubbles where you could write things. In later seasons, it got harder and harder to think of fun ways to do it because it always had to be different
Mhm.
and it always had to be interactive. But that one I am particularly proud of. I thought it was a good.
What
good-
season was the one with the snakes?
The snakes?
There was like a acrylic bridge and like
Ooh.
snakes under it.
I
Do you remember
forget.
what that one was?
There was a season which we'll talk about in the next one that I had live animals in the beauty room, which was a terrible mistake.
Ew.
But we'll tackle this.
that
on
was
the next
Florida,
one.
right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
We'll tackle all this on the next one. We're still in trauma dump though, but that was the bad girl section.
Okay.
Or do you think? Okay, we'll wrap it up. That's enough trauma dump for one day. Yes.
I need y'all to understand
The pecking order. I think that's a little good dump. You know.
Yeah.
Of trauma. People want to hear about bad girls. I don't know. I get it. I guess people grew up with it.
Yeah.
You know.
I watched the Bad Girls.
I know you did
What?
because you were lusting.
Who's your
after
favorite
them.
bad girl?
Yeah.
My favorite bad girl. I need to see all of them. I don't know their names.
Yeah. Me
Yeah.
neither. To be honest with you.
Yeah.
I know Natalie,
comments.
Tanisha.
The comments on TikTok are wild. People asking us all about this fight or that fight and these people. And I'm just like, I don't remember any of them. I wasn't there when they were filming. I was just there to set up the house and get the fuck out. And they're like, well, this is why this house was so cheap because this person sued this person. It's like, no, they didn't. It was cheap because we didn't have any money.
There was one season where a lawsuit played into the budget. I don't remember which one though.
Yeah, I don't know, but whatever.
Mm.
All right, this next segment is called Coral's Corner.
Ooh.
What you want to talk about, baby girl?
I went and saw a movie
You did?
at the theater.
Yeah?
Yeah.
At the
Which-
theater?
Which theater?
The AMC.
Oh,
Because,
okay.
you know, I'm still mad at,
Yeah.
the other place.
Um,
Yeah, I saw the drama.
Okay.
Okay. Have y'all seen it yet?
No, but
No.
I would have said that it doesn't seem. I think we talked about this before, but it doesn't seem like your kind of movie.
It did make me think, but in a good way,
Uh-oh.
you know? But it's just like, I don't know, the whole,
That,
do you know,
is that what smells like burning rubber?
Yeah. Whoa.
do you know what it's about?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's
I
like-
know that, and we're not going to talk about it, but I know the twist of the spoiler of like what her deep secret is.
Yeah, it made me really think because they made a good point where it's just like you walk past people on the street all the time and they look, I don't know, they just look like people,
Yeah.
but you don't know what they're thinking,
Yeah,
you know?
that's true. That's
And
very
it's like,
truer things have not been said.
I know, and the whole thing is like, what's like the worst thing you've ever done? And I cannot, I don't know. I don't think I've done anything or thought anything. Well, I think a lot.
I think
But-
for you, if I had to decide for you,
For me?
the worst thing you've ever done is probably eating tuna out of the bag while drinking chocolate peanut butter muscle milk at the same time.
I have to hit certain things.
And more power
okay?
to you for keeping a regiment, but that is disgusting.
Okay, that's the amount of messages I got. Chill the fuck out, okay? Chill out. I don't know how to cook. If my roommate doesn't make me my oats, I have to figure it out.
Sure.
There was no meat.
I just think you finish one before moving on to the
I
next.
had
That's
to
what I
use
said.
the protein shake to shake the tuna out
because
of my mouth.
water wasn't available anywhere.
There's no protein in water.
There's no protean.
You would have been burning calories at that point.
Do you know how stressful it is? Okay, we're done with the drama. Now you've created its own drama. Do you know how stressful it is? You wake up, I have to drink water. Okay, yes,
sure.
obviously. And then I have to put my hydration and my creatine in it. So I'm drinking that. Then I have to drink my pre-workout. Then I have to drink a fucking protein shake. I'm tired of drinking.
Yeah.
I just want to put them all in one thing, gull it down, and be done with it.
Can't you do that?
You want me to put lemon lime with fucking peanut butter and
I
water?
mean, it would be better than peanut butter and chocolate with tuna.
It actually wasn't that bad. Did you ever have what do they talk about? Like Spam and Reese's Pieces? Delicious.
I'm not having Spam and Reese's Pieces. That sounds disgusting. Who's having that?
That sounds like some Tennessee bullshit.
Yeah, that's not a real
You've never
thing.
seen 50 First Dates?
Yeah, sure.
They talk about Spam and Reese's Pieces. You've
I don't
never had
think
meat
they're
and chocolate together?
I mean, chocolate bacon, but that's because bacon is mostly just salty.
Chicken mole.
What's mole?
I mean, we'll get to that
Okay.
later.
There's nothing. I'm just trying to hit my biceps look like this for a reason, okay?
Yeah.
And it was lemon pepper tuna. It wasn't just plain tuna.
That's kind of what
That's
makes it
kinda
worse.
And you know what? I grew up where I had to drink milk with every meal. Okay, it's
Mhm.
spaghetti and whole milk, tacos and whole milk. It's you have, what you have to have.
That's why your bone density is so good.
Yeah.
That's why those wrists and those ankles don't snap when you're walking around.
If you
on
come
them.
to Revenge of and you ask to look at my wrist, I'm swinging. We're doing it now. Do not come in there and be like, pull your sleeves up. Let me see them wrists. Suck it soft. Okay.
Whoa!
Wow.
Sorry.
Oh no, TikTok shut us down again.
Again.
No, I can say suck it. God. Also, I'm hungry. Okay, I gotta eat.
Listen, I get it.
Yeah.
Sure.
Oh,
You
that's,
might as well just pour it in the bag then.
Yeah.
You know?
that's disgusting.
Yeah, then you could just blend it all up and have a little protein shake.
a little fishy.
Yeah. Well, your own little personal best.
Sometimes it's hard to, and that's okay. Maybe that's not the worst thing that is the worst thing I've probably ever done.
Ever? Yeah.
No.
At least in my eyes.
I mean, it's an
You've-
abomination. It's probably not the worst.
Yeah, you've had some questionable dates here and
Dates?
there.
What do you mean? You don't know my dates?
Yeah. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, sorry.
I know
Oh,
enough.
Shit.
I know shit.
There's just so many.
So would you recommend the drama?
Yes.
Really?
Yeah. I will say Edward in this is kind of a pussy,
Yeah.
but I understand because he's like going through it.
His real accent is very like, hello, governor.
He sounds like a Muppet.
Yeah, he does. It's like, maybe don't.
Maybe
you
you
know?
don't. It was weird sitting in a theater. Everybody was laughing so much.
Really?
Yeah, it was a very like I don't know, is interactive the correct.
It's like it's uncomfortable, so people need to like
They were
express.
hollering, and I was like, "What the fuck?" I was like, Did I miss the joke?" But I was
Yeah,
just,
that's
I don't know.
crazy.
But I also believe, shut the fuck up and watch the movie. If
Yeah.
you giggle to
I
yourself.
don't mind if people I don't mind if people are laughing, but if they're laughing at everything, like what was it that we saw where that dude was
Project
like,
Hail Mary.
yeah, and he was laughing at everything.
It was
Yeah.
a little too much.
And I was like, okay, tone it down.
At the same time, he was like in the movie. He
Like
was, like,
enjoy
in it,
yourself.
so, like,
Yeah.
You do you, but like
I know,
Just tone
but
it down
have a
a bit.
little like teehee.
yeah.
They were like losing it, but I mean, I don't know. They were probably like Edward fans, like the
Huh.
Twilight girlies.
yeah.
It's not getting great reviews. Kenzie saw it too, right?
She
Did you
loved
see it
it.
with her?
Mm-mm.
No?
Oh,
Huh. Who'd you see it with?
So I saw nobody, not dates, buddies.
Who'd you see it with?
I went with Marley, my friend that I'm going to Scotland with. She was in
Uh-huh.
town. I went with Julian and two of Julian's friends.
Huh.
It was where did we go?
The AMC, you said.
Yeah, but in the Glendale one.
Burbank? Oh,
Glendale, yeah.
Glendale.
Yeah.
Huh.
the one at the
Galleria?
No, I'm
The
not.
Americana?
The Americana, thank you.
yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I've never been to that one. We've been
I
to
also
Grove.
don't think I don't think I've been there since it's an AMC. It
Yeah.
It's nice. It's
Mm.
pretty nice.
used
Yeah.
to be a Regal, right?
I have no
I
idea.
don't know.
Oh, yeah. Huh. All right.
Uh-huh.
Well, this has been Coral's Corner. What an informative corner you had there. I'm glad that we got to address the tuna fish because that's really been eating at me.
You're the one who brought it up.
Yeah.
I know. We had tuna last night. I got some tuna steaks from
Tuna
Yeah,
steaks?
you want one?
Yeah.
I got one left
Well,
over.
you
What
have,
What
you
are
have
we
to
doing?
cook it.
You have to cook it though.
Okay.
Make Julian cook it.
Yeah, it's not that hard. You know how much teen is in a tuna steak that's this thick?
Yeah. But
Fucking like 60 grams or some shit.
what?
Yeah.
What is a tuna steak? Just tuna?
It's a piece
Oh
of tuna.
my God.
Well, on that note, we'll see you next week. Bye bye.